Hi guys, it's Jerry McNulty, the Whistling Wheeler, here today with another video. Today we're going to be carving Stewart. And Stewart is out of a 2-inch block. This is the first time I'm carving Stewart. I went from the pattern straight to the video, so this is the first time we are doing him. Remember to like and subscribe to the video, and leave a comment if you have something nice to say. If you don't, then please don't. But anyway, enjoyed being here, guys, and let's have some fun with Stewart. Like and subscribe. Okay, here we go, guys. I have got a knife, and this is from WPC Wood Carving, and this is one that I purchased off of Etsy. And it came with this really cool leather sheath to it, and this knife is about 2 inches long. So, and then I have a few tools. This is a number 11, and this is a 1/2 inch. This is a soft V, and that's probably about 1/2 inch. This is a 1/4 inch V tool. And then I've got a number 6, and this is a smaller number 6, probably about 3 millimeter. This is our pattern today, and this is something that I have not carved yet. I just drew this. I did a front profile and a side profile, and then marked it out on my block. And my block is was started with a 2-inch block, and this is about I think I hit it at 5 inches. Yeah, just shy of 5 inches. So we'll be starting with this today. Let me grab a pencil there. So to start with, I'm going to mark out the center line of the ears. So I'm going to take this line from the bottom jaw and kind of go up and mark this as my ear right here. And same thing on this side. So if you look at this profile, what I've done is I've kind of exaggerated and brought the head up a little bit taller than standard proportion. And so that's where we're going here a little bit. So from there, I'm going to define the sides of my face. So my face is going to be about right there, and I'm just using this line right here. And same thing on this side. Should just mark this so I make sure I'm about the same. That's pretty close. So I need to remove this section right here on both sides to start with. So I'm going to do that just with my knife. I'm going to put this in here to a stop cut by rocking down into there, so I get it pretty deep, and I can just come right there and remove that chunk of material. That's pretty good. A little bit more. Then same thing on the other side. I'm going to push this in here, rocking it back so it pulls deeper into the wood. And then I can come and do a stop cut. I'm going to remove a little bit there before I come back over here, just take off a bigger chunk of it. Just like that. There we go. Okay, so from here, I'm going to narrow the face a bit. So I've got my line here. Bring this all the way down. I'm going to get a center line here. I'm going to start tapering my head back between here and here. So just kind of making a triangle type block. So on this side, I've got two options. I can do the pull cut towards myself, or I can come on this side and do the push cut, but the angle is blocked with the ears. So it's a little bit easier to get a pull cut in here to make this cut. So it's coming along. And I don't want my nose totally pointy there, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of room as it hits that. And I'm gonna run my soft V up here just a little bit, take off a little bit more there for that ear. So this becomes flush almost with this right here. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm going to narrow the face at this eye line, and with that I'm going to cut the sides of the nose and kind of swoop it up like this. So I'm going to kind of angle this here and swoop. I'll do the same thing for this side. Here again, I'm going upside down and using a pull cut to do that. Okay, so I've got to come here and make sure it's the angle is even on both sides. So it's getting there. And then I've got my eye line, and I'm going to pull this back a little bit because I'm taking my U-gouge. And I'm going to put an eye line in here using my U-gouge. Okay, so I'm going to scoop this a little bit deeper. On both sides. Okay, there we go. So from here, I'm going to, this is all going to be forehead. We're going to do the hair really high up here. There's going to be a part that comes about like this. So I can take the forehead back that way underneath that part line. So I've got that V tool, and I'm going to push this right under here. And create that forehead underneath that hairline. Okay, so I'm also going to put a part that comes down here. I'm going to do that with my knife. And we will have to cut the angles off here, but I'm not going to do that yet. So from here, let's look at the back of our ear. So I'm going to do about half the difference here. And we'll do that on both sides. Use my knife again. I'm going to rock that. And he wanted to give way really easy, so I'm going to be a little bit gentle there. I'm going to clean it up with the soft V. Let's do the other side. This one, the angle's kind of weird, so I'm going to grab this V tool. Now take more of it with the knife. Push that V stop cut deeper. Okay. So now I'm going to angle these ears back, and I know this ear's hanging out a lot more than this one, so I'm going to take a little bit more off the side of the face here. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to push it in so that this head face gets pushed back, angled too. There we go. I do want this hairline to go way up here, so. Same thing on this side. Okay, so let me clean this up, and then we'll angle this ear back. I'm going to do clean right here. I'm not going to cut a line yet. I'm just going to clean it with my soft V so that this is a smooth transition, no hard lines. We'll do that same thing on this side. There we go. Okay, I want to clean up some of these lines in this eye line. There we go. Okay, take my soft V. I'm going to come down here, define the jawline, and use the front edge of this ear. I'm going to come down here about a 1/4 inch and then off to the jawline. So that'll look like this. And I actually need to come underneath the ear too. So, and then this section right here can go with my knife. And I can take the corner off here, around this head a little bit so that hair kind of flows over. And I'm meeting the edge, in the middle there, that's where the grain changes, so I'm going to come back across it with my round gouge here. Go a little bit deeper underneath this jawline too. That's better with the soft V. Back across it with my round gouge. And then let's shape this ear just a tad bit. I'm going to use this little number 6. I'm going to stamp a little bit of skin that comes over into the ear. And I need to go a little bit further on this side. Swing this around here so it's deep. Okay, then I'm going to use, let's use this V tool here, for this big round gouge. I'm going to scoop out the center of the ear to that stop cut. I'm rounding it just a tad bit. And let's go ahead and cut the back of the ear. Making sure everything is hit with my knife. That way there's no bandsaw or saw marks anywhere. Okay, so I actually want to do a little bit of a channel across here. So I've got my V tool, and this is a little bit bigger of a V tool than I probably want here, but it'll work. So I'm just going to take this in here and scroll it around. Got the chip there, and then come around the bottom. I'm going to just put a little bit of movement here, make it look like it has a nice earlobe there. All right. And that guy's a little bit loose. I don't want to mess with him too much. There you go. Okay, so let's move over and do that on the other side as well. So first thing we did was we came down from the corner of our ear and angled in to our jawline. Gotta come across the bottom of the ear. And came down the side of the head, rounded that out. So let's use our V tool here to get that hairline all the way across. So this knife did come pretty sharp from the maker. I did drop it just a little bit. It's a good one. Take the corners off the hair. Kind of round it. Remove the machine marks from up here, and I'm kind of putting some movement in here just with my knife. And so I'm taking my knife and I'm kind of rounding it in the hairline to make a natural kind of flow of the hair. And we'll come back with our little tools and put hair in here, but this will give it a little bit of dimension and where place somewhere to go. Okay, let's work on this. Well, we still got to finish the rest of the ear though. So we use that little tool to stamp out a little piece of skin there. Get the shape here. I'm gonna do stop cut right there. Pull that chip out. Come with our big tool here. That's the same thing we did on the other side, and then I'm gonna cut out the back. Okay. So let's work on this nose a little bit. I'm going to start here with the smile line. So I'm going to do a little bit of a nasal flare that's going to come down here like this. It's going to hit this corner right here and down. Same thing right here. Nasal line, corner, and down. Let me start there. So just going to take my knife, Do a stop cut right there. And then I'm gonna find the angle that I want this nose at, and I'm gonna leave it there. Pull that nose right there. There we go. So do the same thing on this side. I'm taking that stop cut here to that corner there and down. I'm going to mark this because I want to make sure that angle is somewhat right. So he came in right here. I'm going to push down here just a little bit. I'm not pushing it as deep as it will need to go. Just pulling off a little bit, and that's to help me make sure that I'm not breaking nothing off. Then I'll come back and do it a little bit deeper. Okay, so let's look at this and make sure our nose is even here. Okay, I think it can come back a little bit right here. Okay, so one thing we didn't do is remove any of the material from the top here, and so that's what needs to be done. Remove just a tad bit of material from right here. Give it a little bit of shape. And there we go. This is some bandsaw marks. And make sure I carve underneath the nose. And there we go. So now I'm going to take the bandsaw marks off this mouth here. And let's narrow our jaw just a little bit on each side. There we go. And I'm going to just clean this up a little bit more. There we go. So let's draw some eyes in here. I'm going to define the sides of the nose as right here and right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my soft V tool up the side here from this corner to that dot, and then I'm going to swing it around where this eye is going to go, which is right here. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to swing this around here. It's going to make a deeper eye cavity and make this brow ridge come out a lot more. So where's that soft V at? It's right here. So I'm going to start from the bottom tip there. I'm going up the side of the nose, and then turning around, coming through that cavity right there. And this is tight because you've got a quite a bit of a round section there. So, and now this one, the grain changes, so I've got to come from the other direction. So I've created a bridge right here on the nose and then deepen the eye sockets on each side is what I've done. Okay. So from here, what I'm going to do is draw the rest of my eye on here, and I've got some cleanup to do just a little bit. I think I'm okay, but I'm going to do a straight line down the side of that eye and the back rounded here on both sides. And this one's, for me, it's always easy to see it upside down to draw it because I'm drawing the same side as I did the other one if it's upside down. So I'm going to take this knife in here. I'm going to stab it straight in. And that's pretty deep. It's holding my knife there. From this side, I'm just going to scroll my knife and cut that stop cut where that pencil line is. I'm going to push my knife in deep again and remove the chip from that first stop cut. And what it'll do is it'll almost make a triangle cut. I'm going to remove some of this where that pencil line is. And then I'm going to remove the rest of this material from underneath this stop cut here. And I've got an eye mounted there. I'm gonna clean up pencil lines up here. Do the same thing on this side. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put a little bit of a chip here. And a chip here. A little bit more of a eyelids. So this is really thin, so all I have to do is just score it. Eyelid is not a very thin piece of skin there, so. And then let's put the bottom of the eye there. Bottom of the eye there. Scroll across here. Move a triangle from the corners of both sides. One there. One there. My stop cut there. Remove the triangles. One from this side. One from this side. Let's take our pencil and give him some, well, actually, let me remove a little bit of material from the top side here. Very delicate in here. That lid is very thin. So let's give him some life here. Put some eyeballs on him. There we go. He's got some life. Let's put some little bags underneath him. I've got that small little Vader number 6, and I'm just going to scroll a little bit underneath this right here on both sides. Yep. And I'm going to clean up the sides of the nose just a little bit. And I want to put some cheek marks as this cheek is rolled up onto the nose. So I'm just scrolling with my knife, kind of rolling it to creating a little bit of a skin goes so that it goes up on top of the nose and defines the cheek a little bit. Okay, looking good. So now let's get a smile in here. So I'm going to give him a little bit goofy smile. I like the smile that I had here on the template, but he's going to come up here. He's going to come up just a little bit and up there. So let's start that with the V tool. I like the V tool because it's pulling an angle on that top lip, not just straight in. So and to keep from chipping out, I'm changing directions to finish that up. So I am going to come back with a knife and deepen that. And then I can come and roll this. Just a little bit of material out there. It looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to come back with my big U-gouge, and I'm going to do the bottom lip. And I want it to come up a little bit in the center, so I'm going to start in the center and kind of scroll it around this way. And that grain changes direction, so I'm going to come back this way just a little bit. And then I need to do the same thing on this side. And there we go. Let's clean this up with a knife just a tad bit. I'm going to come down on the side of the mouth with a little line and then cut the lip just a little bit so it rolls up underneath that top lip. I'm going to do that on both sides. So it needs to be cleaned up just a tad bit. I'm going to take this line that we cut for the smile lines and I'm going to soften it. So right now it's a crisp line. I want it to roll just a little bit. And I'm doing that on both sides. So there we go. So let's go ahead and put in our snot trap. So I'm just going to take this little gouge and push it up in there. I'm going to roll some nostrils, but let's take our big U gouge and kind of push this through here on both sides. So that U-gouge gave me the shape of it, or where it goes, just a little impression. I'm going to even make it deeper with this smaller veiner here. So push back up in here just a little bit, rocking it with my hand so it goes deep, and remove the little chip with my knife. Same thing here. Okay, so from here, all we're gonna do is start working on the hair and then work on the shirt and stuff here. So I'm gonna take this veiner and do a couple little lines here, almost like dimples, just down the side of that smile. Just give it a little bit more interest to it. And do that on both sides. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the collar here. So I'm going to roll this lip just a little bit on both sides. And on the back. I got to come from this direction. And I'm gonna, right now, I'm gonna go ahead and remove some of the bandsaw surface from this so I don't have to worry about it as we start putting stuff in here. Okay, it's real tight in there, so I'm gonna come back with my little tool here and I'm gonna clean up the neck. Okay. So this one I have with a bow tie on him, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to start with my little, well, first I'm going to find the center line. I'm going to do a little knob right here. And let's start with that. So let's get my little tool here. I think this would actually work better with the one that's a little bit more deeper. Let's see what I can find here. Yeah, here's a little dockyard. Yeah, much better. Okay, so I've got my little round tie part in the middle. Let's find the wings. I'm gonna go even right here with the side of the face. And I'm gonna go back here with the same side here, angle that in. See if I'm about straight, or like that. So let's go ahead and cut that in. Let's use a knife. So I'm just gonna stop cut the whole thing. And a knife is good because I can come back here and remove the material. And if I want, I can remove quite a bit of a material so that it looks like this really stands out from the rest of the shirt. bandsaw marks are off it as well. I'm going to soften the edge just a little bit. Same thing here. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple little stop cuts on the rounds part with my knife, and then that'll allow me to do a triangle cut right here in the corner. That just helps add definition and shadow. Need to take off the bandsaw marks. Okay, more bandsaw marks. Okay, so how is this collar coming down? This collar is gonna kind of die behind there. Let's do that. Let's just dye the collar right into the bow tie there. So I'm gonna use my knife and I'm just gonna push this down in here and remove this collar line right here. And we'll go around the whole shirt this right here. Now we do got to make sure and make with the top of our collar right here. So I'm going to take this around here like this. And do this with a knife real quick. And then jump to the V-tool. And then round the rest of this neck up to the head. Okay, and let's the bottom of it on this side. Okay, so he's got some collars there, and I really want this collar to pop out. So I'm going to take this and just kind of scoop this underneath these shoulders, underneath that collar. I'm going to scroll my knife on the collar like this to give that collar some movement and definition. We still need a bottom line in the back here, so let's scroll my tool here. And this neck here needs to get cleaned up, so I'm going to run the big gouge there. There we go. So knife to make it look natural, not just we'll keep. By pulling these shoulders lower too, I got to look back and make sure they're even. Actually, I want to put more out here so that bow tie stands out a little bit taller. Okay, so on that bow tie too, I'm going to do a couple little V-cut lines in towards the center of the bow tie, just to give it a little bit of a detail here. Yeah, I got some more bandsaw lines. Keep grabbing at tools and I'll eventually get the one I want. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some shirt lines here. And all I'm going to do is hit this with the beat tool. Let's give them a button here. So I'm going to take this tool and I'm just going to lay it where I want the button to go, like that. And I'm going to just simply lift up, just like that. And it's going to stamp the impression of the tool there. I'm going to turn it around here, do the other side, and then scoop a little bit of material from each side. And that one didn't come clean out, so I'm going to have to remove it with my knife. That's what I did. Looks great. So I'm going to add another button down here. I think I've got room for about 2 buttons. I'd rather have 3, but you know, so do what you can fit. Okay, I think this needs to go a little bit deeper still. Can't see the bow tie from the shirt. Okay, there we go. So let's work on some hair here. So I'm going to take this little tool here and I'm just going to start from here and kind of do some swooping. So I'm curling my wrist as I'm doing it, and just doing little tiny cuts as I go up. I'm going with that knife cut that I made earlier, kind of going in that same direction. And to kind of break some of this up, I'm going to come back with my knife, stop cut there. At an angle, I'm pulling in here and meeting that stop cut. So I gave it 2 different dimensions there, or 2 different planes, and then I'm going to remove a little bit on the bottom so it doesn't come out the same across there. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Remove a little bit from underneath there. And a couple spots as I go around there. That will help give it some dimension and flow. So when I'm done here, I'll come back with a V tool and add a little bit more impressions in here and give it a little bit more depth. And that's it. So I hope you liked this. This is going to be Stewart. He's pretty close. We're going to go ahead and put this pattern up on the website. It will be a $2 digital download, and then you can do it yourself. If you can manage to screenshot the pattern here, that's fine with me. Good luck to you. But if you just want it printed out and be able to cut it out on your saw, then go ahead and download it. This has been a pleasure. Please remember to like and subscribe, so that we can keep rolling and hopefully one day get to that monetized area of YouTube. And appreciate it, guys. This is the Whistling Whittler, and have a good day.